Welcome to the 2020. Vying to earn an all-around title and striving to end the week as a member of this year's Team USA. And now, the gymnasts that are here to compete in the 2023 Winter Cup. Starting off on parallel bars, for U.S. Air Force, Garrett Broughton. For University of California, Berkeley, Noah Neufeld. For Penn State University, Joshua Carnes. For U.S. Air Force, Patrick Hoops. For Gym World, Troy Lippin. For Penn State University, Michael Artliff. For Penn State University, Matt Cormier. And for Penn State University, Michael Giroux. Starting off on pommel horse, for Stanford University, Blake Soon. For Stanford University, Coy Young. For Stanford University, Ian Lasik-Ellis. For Stanford University, Curran Phillips. For Stanford University, Asher Hahn. For Stanford University, Jeremy Bishop. For Stanford University, Ian Gunther. And for Stanford University, Riley Luce.
Emily, do you copy? Is there anybody that could grab us a couple waters, not to be a divas?
Yeah, I'll get Jill to do it.
Thank you. Oh, Jill.
Starting
perfect.
off on rings, for U.S. Naval Academy, Isaiah Drake. For Evo, David Shama. For Evo, Drake Andrews. For Ohio State University, Cameron Nelson. For Evo, Colin Van Wicklen. For Evo, Alex Diaz. For Evo, Shane Wiskus. And for Evo, Stephen Netarosik.
Amazing.
Starting off on vault, for University of Illinois, Connor McCool. For Roswell, Anthony Kopi. For Gymnastics Olympica USA, Vahe Petrosian. For University of Illinois, Ian Skirky. For University of Nebraska, Lincoln, Taylor Christopoulos. For Roswell, Maxime Bereznev. For University of Illinois, Mike Fletcher. And for Roswell, Chase Davenport Mills. Starting out on floor, for University of Michigan, Javier Alfonso. For West Coast Olympic, Brandon Dang. For University of Michigan, Cameron Bach. For University of Michigan, Landon Blitz. For Stanford Boys, Evan Hymanson. For Michigan University, Fred Richards. Also for the University of Michigan, Rifat Puri. And starting off on high bar, for 5280 Gymnastics, Yul Moldauer. For University of Oklahoma, Jack Freeman. For University of Oklahoma, Ignacio Yakers. And for University of Oklahoma, Spencer Goodell. These are the senior men competing in the 2023 Winter Cup. At this time, we invite you to please rise if you are able. Remove your hats and direct your attention to our nation's colors for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. Gymnasts, they now prepare for competition in the first day of competition for the senior
How good are you with coaches?
Winter Cup.
Okay. Welcome to the Men's Winter Cup. I am John Roethlisberger alongside the one and only, what's your name again?
Sam.
Sam.
Or Samantha.
She only needs one name, Sam Pesek, Olympic silver medalist. I was a gymnast for a long time before any of you were probably alive. But it's okay, we're here at Freedom Hall for the 2023 Men's Winter Cup. And Sam, today they're going to pick a national team, they're going to pick some international assignments, and you and I are here to kind of just be ringside for the whole deal.
I'm really excited. You know, I don't get to watch men's meets that many times throughout the year, but I'm excited to sit here. I'm excited to learn from you. You've obviously been there, done that. John is being incredibly modest, obviously a 3-time Olympian, an 8-time national champion, 4 times in the all-around, 4 times on pommel horse, which is a huge story in tonight's competition. What else are we going to see tonight?
Pommel horses. There's going to be like this could be like an Olympic inter squad on pommel horse. You got Netta Rosick, you got Skirky, you got some great pommel horsemen. And so tonight, the top 5 all-arounders automatically make the national team. So they're going to pick the Winter Cup all-around champion in tonight's competition. And then tomorrow, or Sunday rather, we'll be back, and they will pick 5 more based on a point system, which we'll talk about a little bit throughout the competition. And then there's 5 more kind of at-large positions, which include petitions. There's automatic berth for a specialist that wins an event with a certain level of start value. So 15 spots are up for grabs for the national team. And then, of course, assignments to the Pan Am Championships, and kind of just sets you up for USAs and Worlds, and then, you know, you got the Olympics. That's
true. I mean, speaking of the Olympics, you're kind of forgetting a big deal. Here in this competition, we have 2 Olympians competing, Yul Moldauer and Shane Wiskus. So this is obviously very beginning of the season. They're not going to be at full strength yet, but I'm really excited to see where they're at in their training and how the new guys stack up.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got some young talent too. You know, Fred Richards. I think a lot of us are excited to see what Fred Richards can do. Yep. So, hey, here's the deal about today, though. If you guys want to if you're watching at home, you want to hit us up on Twitter, you can ask us questions. Don't bring your negativity. If you got some positive, how do you say it?
Vibes.
But also
what the kids are saying these days.
Constructive criticism that can help us bring a better show to you, by all means. But we're here to have a good time, and we're throwing out all the broadcast rules that you think you know. We're throwing those out the window, because the next 2.5 hours is about having a good time and bringing you some great gymnastics. So sit back, enjoy. We're going to get going.
Let's do it.
All right, I think I've been told right off the bat. So we're going to Yul Moldauer, I believe, over on high bar, and we just heard before the meet, Sam, Yul might be in his own group because he had a bunch of scratches. He only had 3, and I'm looking at the start sheet right here. There's only 3. Spencer Goodell, I believe I was just been told, is from Oklahoma, is scratched. So there's only 2 left. Jack Freeman from Oklahoma, who I think is still competing, but maybe not all around. And here we go with Yul Moldauer. So he gets the spotlight.
I mean, it's not shy to the spotlight, but man, is it a little bit tougher when you're the only person in the group competing if there's anyone that can handle it, I'm pretty sure it's Ewell here.
And this is an event for Ewell that has been his weakest event, quite frankly. And it's an event, if he can upgrade high bar, look out for Ewell. It's almost an automatic. He's on a world team, an Olympic team, because his other events are so good. And that is a big skill for Ewell, full twisting Kovacs. Sam, like women's bars, handstands are important on men's high bar as well. Most skills at finishing a handstand get a deduction, if I'm being honest with you, on men's high bar. This is a great routine so far for Ewell.
Hey, maybe he's an athlete that prefers competing by himself. Just the dismount here. Solid start. What'd you think?
Absolutely. More than solid. Fantastic start. Your weakest event, arguably, and you start off with a big hit. Probably not the biggest start value you're going to see on high bar, but a big release. The full twisting Kovacs is one that's kind of been in and out of his routine throughout his career. So hit that and hit a good clean dismount. So
you mentioned start values, John, and we've been talking about this a lot. The difference between men and women's gymnastics, the men focus a lot more on the start values. So yesterday I had a chance to speak with Brett McClure, the Olympic silver medalist in 2004 with his team. He's also the high performance director at USA Gymnastics, and he was going event by event telling me the standard of what he's hoping to see from these guys in terms of their start value. So we'll be walking you guys through that just to compare their start values here versus what the international standard and hopefully the new gold standard for men's gymnastics here for USA Gymnastics.
So talking standards, what's the standard on horse? Because we're over at Pommel Horse. This is Coy Young from Stanford. Did he give you kind of what's that goal for these athletes on Pommel Horse?
He did, and it's different on each event depending on how the world stage is looking. Pommel Horse is, as we mentioned at the top of the show, a really big story here. But specifically, Brett said he wants to see above a 6.3 on Pommel Horse. That's the start value, of course. At Worlds, the top two gymnasts had a 6.4 start value, and the third and fourth gymnast had a 6.3. So in order to be top 4 in the world, he's hoping to see a 6.3 start value.
And Coy Young, right out of the gate, this is a great event for Coy. A little trouble right there on one pommel, but it's a great event for him. But he has struggled with a wrist injury over the last year. It's limited him a little on Pommel Horse, but I'll tell you what, Coy Young, and I'm about to tell you, don't forget that name, and he falls off Pommel Horse. But seriously, don't forget Coy Young. If this young man can stay healthy, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with this next year and a half. He's going to be in contention for world team. He's going to be in contention for Olympic team, and a big reason is Pommel Horse, despite the fact he fell right there.
Yeah, we've been hearing his name a lot the last couple of days, and of course, if you follow Stanford men's gymnastics, they are on a roll. Who's in charge there? Who's leading that program?
Tom Bellini, my old coach, a.k.a. Butterbean is his nickname, in case anybody was wondering.
He told me that he was hoping you wouldn't say that on the air today.
Too bad. I told you we're throwing out all the broadcast rules, Tom. My bad. Coy Young, unfortunately, another fall. 1 point deduction for coming off of any of the equipment for the men or the women. You get 30 seconds to remount. He's really pushed the time clock here. But
how tough is an event like Pommel Horse to have a fall and then pick up your momentum again?
I think it's balancing for men, basically. You know, you got to take a deep breath. And unfortunately, I've fallen off Pommel Horse. I don't know if you're aware of that. Breaking news. And it's hard. It's hard to kind of just regroup and calm down. But here we go. We're going to jump over to parallel bars. This is Noah Neufeld from Cal.
As we get things going, Brett McClure said a little bit higher start value here than he's hoping to see on Pommel Horse. He really wants to see that 6.6 start value. And of course, we keep mentioning these numbers, and this is just the start value. If you are new to the sport of gymnastics, whether it's men, whether it's women, you have to add the start value with the execution score. And the execution score is out of a 10.0. Of course, new fans remember the perfect 10 that still exists, sorta. Now you just have to add the start value to get the final score.
Double front, good finish for Neufeld. Try to give you the best updates we can on scores. Floor exercise, Alfonso from Michigan, a 13-2. Cameron Bach, a 13-4. Blake Soon from Stanford on horse, a 13-5. Drake on rings from Navy, a 13-4. Connor McCool on vault, 14-1-5. Copy from Roswell, a 13-9-5. Petrosian from Gym Olympica, 13.35 on vault. Broughton from Air Force at 13.55. Yul Moldauer on that high bar routine, by the way, at 13.4. Try to slip in a vault here. Nice 2.5. Connor McCool, as I just mentioned, his score of 14.15. Little formy in the air.
Yeah, but I really liked how high his chest was in the landing position. Good vertical position there.
Connor McCool can tumble a mean floor exercise routine as well. I've had a chance to watch him throughout his collegiate career at Illinois, ILL.
I gotta say, I.
Yeah, okay, I was hoping.
We have ties. I'm surprised you can do that cheer, Mr. Minnesota.
Hey, I had to listen to that cheer for 4 years while competing at the University of Minnesota.
All right, we're gonna take a look at one more vault here. This is Anthony Copy, scoring a 13.95. Check it out.
Very well done.
What'd you like about it?
First of all, he's landed on his feet, which I think is a big plus on vault. Drake Andrews starting the race. Anthony, by the way, from Roswell Gymnastics, just down the road from where I'm at in Knoxville, Tennessee. He's in North Atlanta area.
First look at the rings here. What are some things we should be looking for in general on this event?
Well, they are the still rings, which means they need to stay still. You can see a little bit of swing there. And it's really about strength. There are more swing elements like those Yamawakis. We saw those double fronts in between the rings. There are some swing elements. You have to have a swing element, but you are not going to score big on rings unless you have the strength moves. You got to have the Malteses, the inverted crosses. You got to work between those strength moves as well. We'll see some good ones later on today. This is a decent routine, though. Very clean. Come on, Drake. Got to stick the landing, though. Got to stick the landing. He's from Evo, the new training center down in Florida.
Listen, I can assure you he's working on it. It's still early in the season, John. We are not at our peak level of performance yet because we have a lot bigger competitions to come this year. This is really to get their feet wet. A lot of these athletes are trying new skills, are getting the cobwebs off, shaking off some nerves here. What else are they looking for?
Well, you know, it's funny. I talked to somebody about Winter Cup, and throughout my whole career, Winter Cup for the men, and this is a new event for the women, so I'm not going to speak for the women's side, because Winter Cup for men has always been kind of ugly, if I'm really being truthful. It's one of those events, it's in the middle of the college season. It's, you know, it's not U.S. championships in the summer, which is usually the world's qualifying event or the Olympic qualifying event. So it's tough to peak at Winter Cup. Guys usually don't, and I know for myself, I would go in there and like, if I can hit 6 routines, just hit them, however ugly they may be, or even hit 5 out of 6, you know, you're going to do pretty well. As we see Asher Hong, he was mislabeled there as Ian Lasik-Ellis, his teammate, freshman at Stanford, and he had made a massive splash at the most recent World Championships over in Liverpool.
This is a name that you're going to continue to hear a lot of. He's just such a dynamic athlete. You saw him waiting before he saluted, and he had his game face on. You could tell.
What a save. Ridiculous save. Asher finished 6th at those World Championships, his first Worlds, and he goes and he finishes 6th all around. And I was there watching him. Another big save. And the kid just was unfazed by the moment, and here he is at Winter Cup, and he's not going to be thrilled with that routine, but that smile right there is I saved that one. I pulled that one out. I absolutely should not have.
Yeah, I mean, man, that's a lot of strength right there, and we talk about this. We're going to continue to talk about this throughout the competition. Even though this is early in the elite season, we're mid-college season. We'll talk about that a bit more later.
Petrosian on vault moments ago, double twisting Sukahara. big step forward and out of those lines, unfortunately. There's another look at it.
What does he need to do on the table to finish in a little bit more of an upright position?
You know, really, it's from that board. You got to be tight on that board. Turnover starts there, but Taylor Christopoulos from Nebraska. You like that one?
I did. Listen, he had a big hop out of it, but that's what gym nerds and coaches like to call a good mistake, because he had so much power. For him, it's about controlling the landing and using his air awareness to lock it in, absorb that ground.
All right, little view of the venue here. Maybe I can try to direct our cameraman over to rings if possible. Told you we're throwing out the. It looks like they're in one-touch warm-up. I thought I saw an Alex Diab sighting over there, and actually I did see an Alex Diab sighting. Let's update you on some of those scores. Petrosian on vault, I think I told you a 13.5. Christopoulos a 14.25 for that big 2.5. Let's jump over to floor exercise. Landon Blix from Michigan, a 13.5 over there. Coy Young, 11.2. He's not going to be thrilled with that. Ian Lasik-Ellis, not the Asher Hong version, because that was actually Asher Hong. He got a 13.4. Asher just a 12.0 for that horse routine. So a little bit of an early hole for Asher here if he's trying to win his first Winter Cup. Going over to the rings, we mentioned Drake Shama, a 12.15. Drake Andrews, a 13.85. Cameron Nelson from Ohio State, a 12.6. Jumping over to the vault, we mentioned all of those scores. Per Labar's, Noah Neufeld, a 13.35. Josh Carnes, a 14.4. Art Lip from Penn State, an 11.3. Tough start for him as well. We mentioned Newell's 13.4. By the way, 13.4 for Newell Mulbauer on high bar. That's a fantastic score. Now, is that going to win him a world medal? No, but you know, decent.
We talked to him yesterday, John, and he's actually got a lot of exciting things going on with his training. He just got back from overseas. Talk a little bit about what his training plan has been recently with all of that.
Well, he's competing in Europe. He's part of the Bundesliga in Germany, and then, you know, he was our first athlete we saw here when we walked in the arena, and there he was training. And he told us about a similar league in France that he's been a part of, and he absolutely loves it. He said it's kind of like a collegiate season, a collegiate program in Europe. You compete, you win prize money. A lot of camaraderie and excitement. Oh, he loves it. He recommends it for a lot of the other athletes to go try it. You get some good experience competing as well.
You do. And it's similar to that college season where it's repetition, building that consistency, building that confidence for the ultimate goal, which for this year, it's looking at championships. And then, of course, you're looking at that world championships, maybe some World Cups, some international assignments. Those are other ways to build that consistency and to build that international competition there. First up, we are going to have Alex Diab on rings, and this is a routine you're not going to want to miss. He's the 2022 U.S. Rings silver medalist, and last year at this competition, he was the champion right here on rings.
And he was the champion in 21, and he was the champion in 20.
I was going to go through the list, but I didn't want to bore everyone. Guys, this is a incredible rings worker.
This is a routine, just to put it in perspective, this is a routine should he get on a world championship team that could final at a world championships. This is pretty much the standard for the United States on rings right now. Incredible start. The back roll, like the other plunge, lowers down to the Maltese, shoot to inverted cross. That should be a little lower. Rings need to be perfectly, shoulders need to be perfectly flat with the arms. Great Maltese position. Got to hold that 2 seconds. Alex has got a 6-2 start, so he's, with the perfect execution, he would start from a 16-2. Capable of a 16-3 if he does the double twisting, double back dismount, but does a full twisting, double layout.
He's close, and it's a very high start value. I'm laughing because yesterday we had the chance to speak with him, and John was actually roasting him on his start value, wanting him to just add in one more tenth. I think he's doing okay.
I said do the double-double. You get the 6'3". You can get that automatic spot on the team as a specialist. And I'll be honest, that full twisting double layout is not, Alex is not going to be happy with that one. But let's go on, because this is a young man I've been excited to see. This is Fred Richards from Michigan. He just did a 2.5 twisting double back and made it look like he was walking in the park. Amazing.
You know, another interesting thing about this competition is the equipment, both on the men's and the women's side. Every time you go to a competition, you have to adjust the equipment. But what makes this different is that it's on podium. And the college men's gymnastics meet they're used to competing every week is not on podium, which means the floor is a little bit bouncier. You have to adjust quickly on these landings. He is having no problems here, John.
Not at all. And this is an athlete too that so much expectation, and he has a lot of expectation for himself. He has no qualms about telling you he wants to be on that Olympic floor in Paris, and he's a super talented athlete. Talking to his coaches before this competition, they just can't say enough great things about Fred Richards. The question is, can he do all the difficulty and can he hit clean? And I'll tell you what,
I don't know what more you could do clean with those landings. Not only were they mostly stuck passes, but his chest was in good positioning. Didn't even blink to move his feet right there.
And that is one heck of a start. Made a run at the World Championship team last fall. Wasn't quite ready, I think. I think it's fair to say. Wasn't quite at the polish that he needed to be, but man, it is a new year. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, this is a guy that you guys will probably recognize. He has been around the world competing for Team USA, most known for being an alternate on the 2022 World Championship team, and of course being a member of the 2020 Olympic team. Here he is on rings.
Shane Wiskus out of Minnesota. Watched him grow up a bit up in my home state as well. Pretty proud to see him go on to be a Minnesota Golden Gopher as well, like myself.
You know, speaking of NCAA, he had a lot of success there. He actually was the 2021 NCAA rings champion and P-bars champion, and in the all-around, and in the floor, and a high bar silver medalist. So did very well for himself in college.
Yeah, and unfortunately his last year competing for the University of Minnesota, the school decided to drop the program. I could do a podcast all about that if you'd like me to. Very frustrating turn of events for the Minnesota program, but Shane that same year made the Olympic team. It was quite a awkward moment for the university, I think, but Shane is down at Evo now in Florida, was at the Olympic Training Center. Now he's moved down to that new training center just outside Sarasota, and what a start for Shane as well. Beautiful double twist and double back. I feel like Shane's got a little bit to prove this year. You know, he didn't make that world team, made the Olympic team, and I feels like he has maybe a little chip on his shoulder.
Sometimes that makes training just a little bit easier. John, both you and I know just how tough this sport is and just how tough the training is. So having a little chip on your shoulder for extra motivation isn't necessarily a bad thing.
We go with Riley Luce, Stanford gymnast as well, member of the national team. Beautiful skill there. That's called a sewn. Full turn 360 on one hand. So difficult. Hanging in there a little tight in the circle. You'd like to see that circle stretched a little more. Struggling on the dismount, but that was a long routine. And again, not the peak point of the competitive season for these guys, so you might see a little struggle at the end, but hey, you stay on horse, it's like being, you stay on horse. It's a great day.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. This is really turning out to be a great competition. We're seeing good execution. We're seeing some high start values, and we're gonna head to break now. We'll be back just shortly after the next touch rotation. We'll be back.
Come see the stars of USA Gymnastics at the 2023 U.S. Classic, August 4th and 5th at Now Arena in Hoffman Estates. Cheer on Olympic medalists and world champions as they compete for a trip to the USA Gymnastics National Championships. Watch the excitement when Team USA's future legends take the stage. Tickets on sale now. Visit usagymclassic.com for more information. Don't miss any of the gymnastics excitement at the 2023 U.S. Classic.
Keep going. Keep working. Keep climbing. And always keep playing. With the exceptional orthopedic care at Baptist Health, with a skilled team of dedicated specialists, along with advanced services and procedures, it's no wonder most people choose us to help them keep moving and doing the things that move them. Find a Baptist Health provider today.
All the Illinois fans watching appreciate that.
Did they have well, you haven't probably been to too many Illinois gymnastics events. They have this big clicker that they spin, and it's the most annoying clicking, like loud. It's like clack, 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 clack. And
I think they probably love it. I think they probably wish that it was here right now.
They might like it, but
yep.
Geez. Chase Davenport from Roswell also. Well done, Sukahara with the double twist. While you're watching these highlights, we'll give you some updated scores for routines. We saw Fred Richards, a 14.8. I see an 8.3 on here, so there must have been some splitting of the tenths of a point on that routine. Riley Luce, a 12.3 for that horse routine. He struggled a bit, but managed to stay on. Shane Wiskus on rings, a 14.25. I'll tell you what, that is a great score for him. Alex Diab, we saw his ring routine at 14.698 for that floor routine. Michael Fletcher on that vault we saw moments ago, a 14.45. Chase Davenport Mills from Roswell, a 13.9 for his vault. Only one parallel bar routine that we saw on the screen. That was Noah Neufeld, a 13.35, and we mentioned the Moldauer score. Give you an all-around standings after one rotation. It's Fred Richards out in front after that amazing floor routine. Michael Fletcher on vault. Vault, a little higher scoring event, and he stuck it. Joshua Carnes from Penn State, a 14.4. He started on the parallel bars. Taylor Christopoulos from Nebraska, 14.25. He's tied for fourth with Shane Wiskus, who got that 14.25 on ring. So that is your top five currently. Yule Moldauer, notable. That is currently tied for eighth after that high bar team. So here we go with David Shama to lead off the vault rotation here in the second rotation. David out of the Evo program as well. We mentioned that.
this is really an event that the national staff have seen a lot of improvement on, specifically on the start values here. Increasing those start values has been a huge push across the United States.
Clean vault, double twisting Sukahara. Big hop to the side, not one of the highest start values, obviously, you're going to see, but anytime you're doing something a little lower difficulty, ratchet up that execution, right, Sam?
Absolutely, that's the name of the game. Either have that high difficulty score or make it clean. He did a really good job. Good body positions in the air, just that hop on the side.
Second rotation done for David after that quick vault.
Yeah, the high performance director, Brett McClure, was really talking a lot about vault. He said, you know, we've always told these guys just how important the vault event is to the success of Team USA, but he really thinks that now they're putting that message into action. They're making up an entire point in start value just on vault, which is huge because the top teams in the world have the highest start values, and that's where they feel like they were a bit behind and working hard now to increase that difficulty, but like you mentioned, John, still have a high level of execution score.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can thank Asher Hong and Donnell Wittenberg for that big jump in start values. Both of those young men doing full twisting double suits. Ray Saquon, as we see Cameron Nelson doing his double twisting Sukahara on vault. Cameron Bach from Michigan getting ready to go. In rotation 1, Cameron Bach on floor exercise a 13.4. He was very close to the top 10 after one rotation. Obviously a long ways to go. Cameron Bach has really been through a lot in his career, a lot of different injuries that he's had to deal with, but man, a hard worker, sticking it out. He's already graduated Michigan. He's sticking it out for another year and a half, wants to give that Olympic team one more run.
Yeah, he's not peaking yet, but he is adding in new skills. He's healthy, he's doing the all-around, which again is a lot at this stage of the competition. Coaches say that he's always been really smart about his work ethic. It's a guy that has to be strategic with his training.
He's like me. I had to train a skill for a long time before I could learn it. He's one of those grinders. He's going to grind and grind until he gets it, whereas you take the other Wolverine we just talked about, Fred Richards, probably takes 5 minutes to learn the skill that would take me 5 months. And Cameron Bach is a little bit of that mold. He's got to really work it, but hey, you stick with it and you grind it out, and it's paid off for him. He's had a great career. All right, Asher Hong. Saw him on pommel horse, first rotation. Slow start for him with that 12.5. So, but this is an event, watch out. Asher Hong can put up a ring routine.
He was a competitor in the last World Championships and actually advanced into the all-around finals. Current student at Stanford, so you know academically it's not the easiest school either. So he had to take a little bit of downtime after coming back from World Championships, reset, and now he is back to business.
There's a nice inverted cross. You can see his wrist bent a little. We call that a false grip. And that is supposed to be a deduction. You want to see from the knuckles of the hands through the elbow, it needs to be a straight line. Good Maltese.
Last year at Winter Cup, he did win a silver medal on this event. So he could be a contender this weekend.
Absolutely a contender, not just here, but in the all-around as well. Oh my gosh, double twist and double layout, Sam, and you don't see a lot of athletes over-rotate that dismount, I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, you see both him and his coach kind of smiling there. We talk about the good mistakes we're going to see in this competition, and that is another one. Over-rotating, typically on any event at this stage in the elite competition season, is a good thing.
And I saw him grab his calf there a little bit after he landed, and Tom Bellini came over and was talking with him, and I saw him grab his calf again. Not sure if he strained it a little bit on that landing. Looks like he's working it out on the sidelines, talking to the trainer. Obviously, we don't speculate on injuries, but hopefully he is good to go for 4 more events. As we see Yule Moldauer. Now, this is an event. We talked about high bar being possibly his weakest event, even though it looked great today. Floor, world finalist on this event. Unbelievable floor worker. And really, Sam, where he stands out to me isn't that he does the hardest tumbling. No one lands like Yule Moldauer. But before that, we teased you with Yule. We're going to go to Alex Diop. And look out, he is not just a ring man. Watch this.
Oh, man.
And that is an incredibly tough vault.
We were talking to him yesterday. We wanted him to hit this vault. Brett McClure said that Alex and Asher are really the only ones that can get above that 5.6 start value average from both vaults. So I know he's going to go back to the drawing board and work the details out there.
And that was a handspring double front pike. Super difficult.
You're talking about what's special here about Yule. Point it out. When he lands, what do you like about that?
Now, he took a hop on that. He's going to be real mad, I can guarantee you. But just watch. He just has this sense. Boom. Clean. Crisp. Doesn't move his feet. I mean, come on. What don't you like about it?
It's such a cat. Finds the landing really easily. You can tell sometimes he's off on passes and just almost floats down to the correct position.
And Yule made the Olympic finals on this event too, and that sequence right there was amazing. Had one of the lowest start values in finals, but he was hitting a perfect routine, and he got to his flare sequence, and unfortunately, like I've never seen him do before, had some trouble, and unfortunately may have cost him a medal.
But again, just as expected, nailing those landings. Double fist pump there. High fives all around. I mean, talk about a well-respected guy in this sport and, of course, in this community here.
Yeah, just a great dude. You can see his college coach there, Mark Williams. He went to Oklahoma. And I would be remiss if I didn't tell you, too, that Yule won a bronze medal at the World Championships on floor exercise. So not just a finalist, but also a medalist. Well done. 2 events in for Yule. He is looking fantastic. Asher Hong on rings, a 14.133.
We're going to take a look at Alex Diab's second vault. Of course, they're looking for the average start values to be 5.6 or higher. Again, a little short. Definitely landed better than his first vault. What'd you see, John?
Yeah, a handspring front 2.5 twist in the laid out position. Just looks like he needs a little more snap off that board. It just feels a little slow. The last couple steps of his run into his board need to be a little bit more dynamic. Had to pike down a little bit on that landing, but that's going to be interesting to watch Alex in the next year, because rings and vault together could be a huge asset to Team USA. Here's Evan Hymanson, Stanford boys program. Nice swing. Oh, and the dismount. The dismount always gets you if you're tired at all. Now he's looking over, and here's what's going on right now, if we can stick with pommel horse for a moment. So he's looking at his coach. His coach is probably looking at the judges, wondering, did I get credit for a dismount? And so if he got a 0 value, it's actually in his best interest to take the 1-point deduction for the fall, and exactly what he's doing, and get back up and repeat the dismount. He's better off to get back up, take the 1-point deduction for the fall, get credit for the dismount. Hopefully he hits it clean this time. Little hitch going up the handstand.
But at least he's not going to get
0 value.
A 0 value on that dismount.
A 0 value for the dismount would hurt, because it is a required element of the routine. plus each skill the gymnast does is assigned a value. They're assigned a 1/10 of a point all the way up to a point. They keep going up. Difficulty keeps getting better. So,
they do.
You know, he gets the value for that handstand as well as fulfilling the requirement.
This was the first flight of the second rotation here inside Freedom Hall. Senior men's competition. We are going to let you guys go. They're warming up. They got a 30-second touch. We'll be back for flight number 2 coming up next.
All right, we got done with the one-touch warm-up here midway through rotation number 2. Second half of these rotations much shorter than the first half. Just to update you on what we saw so far in this rotation, Yule Moldauer, a 14.4. Outstanding floor routine. That's the second highest score on that event. Cameron Bach on pommel horse, a 13.05. Evan Hymanson, a 10.2. So unfortunate dismount problems for him. Asher Hong on rings, a 14.133. Alex Diab on vault, a 13.827. Jump over to Riley Luce from Stanford on rings. Riley needs to not be loose on this ring routine.
It's important to be tight. Consistent theme in gymnastics at all levels, all ages, all genders. Pretty much the standard here is to be tight when you do gymnastics. Be tight means squeeze those knees, point those toes, squeeze your abs, basically squeeze every part of your body.
Be tight.
And that's what you can't see from an outsider's perspective. But if you have done gymnastics, you know exactly what that feels like.
And this is a good routine. He started with an incredible sequence of Maltese press to a planche. Ridiculously hard. Strength move out of the gate.
Just last year on his 2022 NCAA team, went to Stanford. He is the rings champion. And of course was part of that 2022 national championship winning team just last year. Part of that superstar squad over at Stanford, and you're looking at why. We're seeing a lot of consistent gymnastics from them.
Stanford, the number 2 gymnast or team in the country right now, though. The Sooners beat them earlier this year. And currently the Sooners are the number 1 team. Michigan Wolverines and Fred Richards are the 5th ranked team in the country, as we see Fred going to his second event. Outstanding start for him on floor exercise, but this a big routine for him.
Fred came in 4th at championships last year before he came to Michigan, so he's only a freshman. Coaches say that they thought no one could rival Paul Judah's work ethic, and then they met Fred, and they're not sure who works harder, but What makes them special is not how much they work, but the time in between turns. They do not waste time. They get back on the equipment, and that's what makes them so special, and you're seeing these results right here.
A little form issues throughout that routine, but nothing major, no major breaks. Looked like he was struggling a little on that dismount. His legs needed to be at a higher angle when he came off the horse. They were very close to the pommels. Needs to be more of a 45 degrees, but other than that, great routine, a lot of difficulty. Now that Davenport Mills from Roswell on the parallel bar. Trouble on that Tapel. Do not want your legs to touch the bars right there.
Start value that we're looking for on this event is a 6.6 start value. That is high, but the highest start value in the world is a 6.9 right now, followed up by a 6.7 and a 6.6. So to be competitive worldwide, they need a high start value right here.
And that's the pinnacle. That's the gold standard. But really, to be in the sixes, the 16 plus at a World Championships is really where you want your whole team to be. And U.S. is pretty good on parallel bars. So that is it.
We're not looking for mediocrity here, John.
That's true.
We are not. These guys are gunning for the top spot.
We got one more routine here, I believe, in this rotation. This is Rithik Puri from the University of Michigan as well, following Fred Richards' 13.357. So a good score. You get into the 14s on pommel horse, and you have done something very exceptional. Being in the mid to high 13s, not bad, especially at this point of the season. Oh, big fight right there. A lot of execution errors at the end, but when you're checking the boxes, box one is stay on, and he checks that box. You see a little fist pump. His coaches, Shao there on the right, Jordan Gerenstrom on the left.
Quick score update for you. Fred Richard, we just saw on pommel horse, scored a 13.357 with a 5.9 start value. Of course, we saw some few mistakes towards the end of his routine there. What do you make of that?
So that's it for rotation number 2. 10.95 for Chase Davenport Mills on the parallel bars. Riley Luce on the still rings, 13.953. And that's going to do it for rotation 2. 4 more rotations yet to come here. And we have got a lot of great gymnastics ahead. Don't go away.
Keep going. Keep working. Keep climbing. And always keep playing. With the exceptional orthopedic care at Baptist Health, with a skilled team of dedicated specialists, along with advanced services and procedures, it's no wonder most people choose us to help them keep moving and doing the things that move them. Find a Baptist Health provider today.
Come see the stars of USA Gymnastics at the 2023 U.S. Classic, August 4th and 5th at Now Arena in Hoffman Estates. Cheer on Olympic medalists and world champions as they compete for a trip to the USA Gymnastics National Championships. Watch the excitement when Team USA's future legends take the stage. Tickets on sale now. Visit usagymclassic.com for more information. Don't miss any of the gymnastics excitement at the 2023 U.S. Classic.
Welcome back to Louisville, Kentucky. My name is Sam Pescick, and I'm alongside John Roethlisberger, the Johnny R, three-time Olympian. We're going to talk about the leaderboard. Mike Fletcher is tied in first place with Shane Wiskus with a 28, and in third place is Yul Moldauer, 27.9. Fred Richards right behind them, 27.84, and of course in that fifth place spot, Joshua Carnes, 27.65. Not much separation here. Of course, it's only been 2 rotations. There are 4 more to go. John, what are you seeing? What do you like?
Well, I think Mike Fletcher being up there at the top is good. Now, keep in mind, this just to make it more complicated and more confusing for everybody watching, vault is generally a higher scoring event for men. So you go to vault, that's where he started. He stuck his vault. That's going to score higher. So once everybody starts to matriculate, I like to use matriculate. How many syllables is that? Matriculate, 4 syllables. Once they all go through vault, then you start to even things out. But that is a great spot to be. But we see some familiar names up there, which is exciting. But I should digress because this is one of our pommel horse specialists. This gentleman is from Oklahoma, Ignacio Yockers. Watch this young man swing. He's had a great season for the Sooners, and we've got some great pommel horse specialists competing today. It's going to be a battle in this event.
We had the opportunity to talk to him yesterday, and I learned that he, at one point in time, had the most amount of circles on a mushroom in 60 seconds.
Guinness Book of World Record. Not any vague record. This was Guinness Book of World.
He did, so you want to guess?
Go ahead.
I'm letting everybody out there guess right now. The answer is he did 64 circles. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the record anymore. He said a little kid from Germany beat him, but he's a merit scholar. He's got a lot of things going for him. One thing in particular is that pommel routine.
That was
incredible.
Legit. That was legit. Going to stake a claim to the pommel horse title at Winter Cup for sure. Putting on the pressure for some young men like Skirky from Illinois and Steven Netarosik. Now, this vault right here, world class. This is a big reason why Asher Hong was on the World Championship team last fall, a big reason why he has a chance to make it again this fall. Watch this. I mean, it is absolutely sick that a human being can do what he just did. From the time he leaves the floor on that vault board, flips over 3 times. 2 backflips, 1 full twist called a Rae Kwon. North Korean gymnast competed that vault, and Asher Hong does it very well. Now he did big step over the sideline there.
What makes this so difficult?
He flips over a lot of times. I'm just going to keep it at that. Full twist. I mean, I did a souk with a 1.5 twist, a full twist, and a double twist, and barely lived every time I did it. And I remember when I competed as a junior, I did a pike souk, 1 single flip. Imagine he does 2 flips, adds a full twist. I mean,
it's incredible, and that's
human.
the most amount of difficulty we're going to see on vault tonight. Of course, Alex Diab was the other athlete that could contend in that start value, but he didn't have the same result on the landing. Jeremy Bischoff here up next in vault.
Asher Hong, a 14.755 for his vault, so that landing deduction hurt him a bit there. Oh! Tom Galini's right in front of us, yelling stick bonus at the judge.
It's amazing.
Tom, should he get stick bonus for that?
He said at some meets he does. I mean, that's the difference, right? Of that clean execution in the air, a stuck landing, but the difficulty score in the start value is not going to be as high.
You know, Yul Moldauer, one of our contenders in the all-around, another great event for him. Yul can swing some massive pommel horse. The question is consistency. Has at times been a little inconsistent, but when he is on, there are few that can be as dynamic. Watch this. Flare work is incredible. A lot of energy exerted in this routine. Does he have enough for the dismount? He does. I'll tell you what, Yul Moldauer has come to play here at this Winter Cup, Sam. Unbelievable start through 3 events.
I'm excited to watch his all-around competition. I mean, he is the bronze medalist on that event on pommel horse last year at championships. So talk about a guy that is truly an all-around competitor. You're looking at Asher Hong.
So I saw Yul, talk to Yul at the World Championships. He was the alternate for that team, and he was not shy about the fact that he was not pleased about being an alternate. And not that he didn't say, you know, I deserve to be on the team. I got the short end of the stick. It wasn't that. It was just that he didn't feel he earned his way on and was not happy with that fact. And he wasn't shy about it, but he was also an incredible alternate. He is such a team player, and I tell you what, that seems to have lit a fire under him, and he said no more alternate position for him. He's come out strong, as we see Maxim Brezhnev from Roswell on high bar.
It's never easy to be an alternate, but I think you learn a lot about yourself. One, it definitely makes you hungrier to make the team in the future. I was an alternate one time in my life, and it was the worst because you were so close. You still have to train, but you don't get the opportunity. And let me tell you, from someone that's been an alternate, you never want that to happen again.
Mm-hmm. It is a motivating factor. I was an alternate as well, and didn't want that to happen again. Nice routine from Maxim. Great finish, I'll tell you that. No better feeling in gymnastics, Sam, than flying through the air with the greatest of ease and sticking the landing.
It's the best. One, you're just taking a big deep breath because you're like, I did it. It's over. And I think what these athletes, both on the men's and women's side, do such a good job of, I mean, part of this sport is making it look easy. And so you don't really know how tough it is for them until they land. And then look closely. They're going to take a big, deep breath, and it's usually that sigh of relief of, man, I can breathe again. I did my job. My hard work is coming to fruition, and that's what we're seeing from some of these guys here today.
Currently tied for the lead here in Louisville is Shane Wiskus, mounting one of his best events, the parallel bars, capable of going big here. Not supposed to move your hands at all on parallel bars. In those handstand positions, he moved it ever so slightly. Not a huge deduction, but 1/10 off every time you do it. Very clean routine so far from Shane.
He's the 2021 parallel bars silver medalist here.
Such long routines that these athletes do now. Beautiful. That's called a bobsar. I believe you carpooled from the airport with a bobsar.
I did. Yeah, Raj Bobsar, obviously still close to this USA men's team. Oh, had to fighting for it now. How much harder does that make your routine?
Oh, it's brutal. The little things like that, especially at the end, you are so tired. And that was as simple, that was the easiest thing in his routine, is to get from that straddle to the handstand. And just, you get on the heels of your hands a little bit, and you've done a lot of press handstands. You get on the heels of your hands and you are in trouble, but nice save.
Little vault replay for you. Oof. How about that landing?
It was a little awkward. Shoulders down. That is a big deduction for the judge in the judge's eyes. You want those shoulders nice and high. Now Jeremy Bischoff.
Here's that stuck landing that we saw earlier.
Yep.
Did a nice job finding it. You could tell he was spotting the ground for almost half a second before his feet even touched the floor, and that's what helps you stick on this event.
And here's Ian Gunther, 13.5 for his vault. That is a 14.8 start value, so compared to Asher Hong, for example, who started from a 16.0. Big advantage Asher, but these guys trying to maximize their execution score. Fred Richards has had a nice day so far.
Yeah, I'm not biased, but
yes, you are.
I gotta tell you
Totally
that
biased.
this is the athlete that I was most looking forward to see. Everybody has been talking about him, not just how dynamic he is, how powerful, but his work ethic. And I think that's really inspiring, because a lot of these guys, you don't realize on the competition floor just how much goes into their training to get it right. He's an athlete that made a big splash on the junior stage. He won Junior Pan Ams 2 years in a row, and so he's just now getting the opportunity to showcase his skills, his routine amongst the senior competitors. And so far in this competition, I'd say it's going pretty well for him.
It is a little trouble right there. Awkward. Looked like he was re-gripping the rings. And, you know, going back to, I spoke about him trying to make the world team last year. He actually couldn't be on that team because he competed in that calendar year as a junior. And that is when he went to dominate the Pan Am Championships, which that took him out of the running for that world team. I don't know, and I think he would agree with me. Wasn't quite ready to be on that world team nonetheless. But I think so far here in 2023, you know, look out for Fred Richards, because he is trying to leave little in doubt so far here at this Winter Cup. So partway through here, this third rotation, we're going to break for a little one-touch warm-up for the second half here in Freedom Hall.
Welcome back to the second half of rotation number 3. We're going to start on vault, which is a hot event here for Team USA on the men's side. Going to take a look at Riley Luce from Stanford.
Riley's had a good competition. A little struggle on pommel.
Of course, you see that reflected in the scores there. Rings, get a nice score, get a nice routine.
Yeah, you like to see that 14 plus on rings. You like to see in the mid 13s on pommel horse. Here on vault, really 14 plus as well is going to be a score that'll keep you in contention. Very nice front 2.5 twist. A little pike down at the end.
But I think they should be pleased with that. A lot of the guys are throwing upgrades. They're doing big skills because the end result is the Olympics. This is a stepping stone. Even though it seems like the Olympics is so far away, John, you and I both know that the selection committee takes everything into consideration. And so the game plan that Brett McClure was telling us about is we want them to throw their big skills. We want them to start doing their difficulty now so that when they get comfortable, they can start refining them, building consistency, and of course that competition confidence that we've been talking about throughout the meet.
Did you like that vault from Riley, Tom? Pike down too much? Pike down too much?
This is Coy Young here, finishing up the third rotation for Stanford here on vault.
We're just breaking all the rules. That was Tom Galimi walking by the coach. We thought, why not ask him about his athletes in the middle of the competition? He thought Riley's vault was okay. Here's Coy Young. Same vault, but better. Much higher on the landing. Riley Luce a 14.252 for his vault. Again, a 15.6 start value. This much better, Sam, would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is an athlete that I think we're going to see a lot of. Get used to hearing his name. Brett McClure said he's not really on the radar yet, but they're expecting him to come in and be extremely, extremely impressive.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch him. We talked about Fred Richards, also somebody that we're excited to watch. Coy Young, again, like we talked about on pommel horse, just stay healthy, be able to train. And he gets the fans, but he also gets his coaches excited.
Yeah, you know, a funny story about Stanford is they use the Stanford Open to decide what difficulty they can handle for Winter Cup. And they had some sickness, and even though they all performed extremely well at the Stanford Open, they've had a little break in training due to some sickness across the team. And so they're just kind of coming back, getting the rust off, getting their skills back, so they weren't sure just how much difficulty they were going to be doing as a team here at this meet.
So young David Shama here on the parallel bars, saw his score so far tonight. Won the U.S. Championships Junior Division last year. Certainly somebody to keep an eye on. Can he go from a junior division and 2 years later be on an Olympic team? Absolutely not easy, though. Wow, big double front. Unfortunately, huge hop forward on that landing. Gonna be probably 6/10 or more just on that landing. That's how brutal these judges can be.
Quickly over to Javier Alfonso for Michigan on rings. And score update. Coy Young on that vault got a 14.802. That's a pretty nice one. The execution score there was a 9-1.
Highest vault score so far in this competition.
That was a nice one. Score to beat here on rings is a 14.698 from Alex Diab.
This is a very clean routine so far. And then legs together planche late in the routine. So tough. Javier is 12th ranked in the country collegiately on still rings. Strong event for him. So that is going to do it rotation 3. I want to know Sam's highlights so far, but we're not going to be able to find out until we come back. Tell us your highlights. Tweet at us. Let us know. A lot more gymnastics yet to come.
Come see the stars of USA Gymnastics at the 2023 U.S. Classic, August 4th and 5th at Now Arena in Hoffman Estates. Cheer on Olympic medalists and world champions as they compete for a trip to the USA Gymnastics National Championships. Watch the excitement when Team USA's future legends take the stage. Tickets on sale now. Visit usagymclassic.com for more information. Don't miss any of the gymnastics excitement at the 2023 U.S. Classic. Come see the stars of USA Gymnastics at the 2023 U.S. Classic, August 4th and 5th at Now Arena in Hoffman Estates. Cheer on Olympic medalists and world champions as they compete for a trip to the USA Gymnastics National Championships. Watch the excitement when Team USA's future legends take the stage. Tickets on sale now. Visit usagymclassic.com for more information. Don't miss any of the gymnastics excitement at the 2023 U.S. Classic.
Welcome back inside Freedom Hall. We're at the halfway point here at the senior men's competition. It's Winter Cup. It's early in the elite season. They're halfway through their college season. We got a lot going on. We're seeing some high difficulty from these guys, but let's take a look at the standings. Shane Wiskus is in that first place spot. It was moving too quickly for me. Shane Wiskus, 42.05. Yul Moldauer is in that second spot with a 41.857. And in the top 3 is Joshua Carnes from Penn State with a 41.4. So it's still close. We have 3 more rotations to go.
Some great gymnastics so far. What's your highlight? Do you have a favorite routine, favorite moment so far, Sam?
I gotta be honest. I know I said this earlier, but I'm sticking to my guns here. Fred Richard. He's been a highlight for me, one, because I've never gotten to see him compete. I've only been able to hear the hype about him. I saw him train yesterday. I heard what the coaches said, and he is walking the walk. And that's something that's really impressive to me, especially as more of a younger athlete that doesn't have the competition experience that maybe Yul Moldauer has or Shane Wiskus has. He's still developing that. So for him to show this consistency at this stage in his development is really impressive for me, because you know that, one, he's a gamer, and when he does add even more difficulty, chances are he's going to be able to hit that in pressure situations. So I think that he's going to be a key contender to a lot more international competitions to come. But I don't want to speak too soon. We have 3 rotations left to go in this competition. What do you like?
Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of things. Shane Wiskus, I'd love to see. I don't want to say it's a kind of a rebound for him after last year, but I know it was a disappointing year, how it finished for him in 2022. So for him to be on top halfway through, Yul Moldauer, similar to Shane, I feel like they've got chips on their shoulders and have come in here strong. You look at that top 5, and And Josh Carnes is in there from Penn State. We'll see how that goes as he goes to pommel horse next. But you got some familiar names: Shane, Yule, Asher, Fred in the top 5. Some young talent, some veterans in Shane and Yule. You don't have a Brody Malone here, but if you start to piece together a team, you're like, these guys got some swag. No Colt Walker here as well. So we've got some promise, and it's very exciting, I think, for Team USA, for the men, on what could be here in 2023.
I know it's only been 3 rotations, but Josh Carnes is currently sitting in the 3rd place spot in the all-around. What would it mean to someone like Josh, who doesn't necessarily have the international experience, to place in the top 3 here at Winter Cup?
I think it would be huge for him, and just to be where he is so far in this meet, I think is a great sign. He goes to pommel horse next, which we've seen as a low-scoring event. We'll see how it flushes out at that point. But let's just talk about parallel bars right now. One of the greatest parallel bar routines in the world is Curran Phillips, and he is about to go right here, trying to earn an automatic spot because of this parallel bar routine.
How do you earn an automatic spot here?
Well, you got to win the event, first and foremost, and then you have to have a start value of 6 or better on parallel bars. And he has that so far. Those skills from the upper arms are so difficult. You can see the pads on his arms. That is an upper arm skill, that front uprise. I worked that one of those skills, the front uprise Diamondov, for about 8 years, Sam, and never made it one single time. I'm like, I want to learn this so bad, and I see him do it, and there's definitely
He makes it look so easy.
There is some envy and jealousy, I'm not going to lie, and that was incredible. Biggest obvious deduction is the step on the dismount. The double pike is capable of a more difficult dismount, which would add 1/10 to his start value, but he's battling a back injury, and so he took that out. Just a 16.8 start value as Evan Hymanson now on ball. Not bad. Not sure if he was trying to lay that out. For me in the air, pop on that landing, but had some power, certainly.
Checking out that replay here. That pre-flight gets pretty in front of the table there with his head. I'd like to see him have a stronger block through his shoulders, and I think that's really going to help him clean up the landing.
So I'm going to shout out to our producers that, I'm not even going to say his name, but the last gymnast on parallel bars in the first half of this rotation. So you guys know what I'm talking about. They can hear me. Is an athlete that we need to show. I'm just going to throw that out there and saying it's self-serving. It's completely self-serving as we see Shane Wiskus now.
Self-serving for all of you guys too. We want to make this special. We want to make this a treat for you. But for right now, Shane Wiskus is on high bar, and of course, he's the guy in the 1st place spot here. This routine is a big deal for him.
Absolutely, you nailed it. And I was going to say the same thing. If he wants to be on the world team this year or the Olympic team, this is an event where he can stand out. Because of releases like that, full twisting Kovacs called a Coleman. Kovacs right there. Working that full twisting Kovacs in the laid out position has had some trouble with it. Oh, and that is hugely unfortunate. And it was in his hands.
It looked like he was right there. I don't know if he didn't quite get the dowel over the bars. So when you have grips on your hands, and it's the same with men's and women's gymnastics, even though the rails are very different, the dowel, if you don't get it quite over the bar, it's really easy to slip off there, even though it looks like you could catch it.
If you don't, I'll take it a step further. If you don't get the dowel over the bar, it's impossible to catch it.
It is impossible. It is impossible. I don't know, though, because last week we saw an NCAA female gymnast who her grip totally came off her hand, and she, by a miracle, was able to finish that routine. So I'm consistently impressed with all these athletes.
There's the Tkachev again. Just an unfortunate fall for Shane. I'm going to try to close circuit to our cameraman on high bar. If he can just zoom out ever so slightly. Not sure if that's possible. We'll get a little bit more of the body on high bar, but you get the point.
Fingers and toes. That looks good.
Got to stick this.
Come on.
Not bad. I mean, a great routine. He's going to be so mad at himself. I've been there. You reach and grab it. It's like a pop fly in baseball where you kind of like, I got this. And it pops out of the end of your glove.
It's also just like a trickle effect, right? When you have a fall in an event and things are going well, now you got to mentally be frustrated, allow yourself to take a deep breath, and then move on from it.
Here we go with Fred Richard on vault. It's not Richards, closed circuit to our friend who remind us of that. There's only one Fred Richard.
Yes.
It's not plural. Here we go on vault. He has been working a difficult front handspring, double front half. Not going to do it here, but he can go big nonetheless.
Wow.
Very nice 2.5 twist. Aminar for the women, right? No, Aminar's the Yurchenko style.
Yurchenko, 2.5.
This is a 2.5 from the Sukahara style vault. There's Jordan Garenstrom, one of the coaches on the Michigan staff.
Quick score update. Shane Wiskus on high bar, 12.2. Unfortunately got a big deduction for that fall. 6-7 execution with a 5-5 start value. Like you mentioned, we know he's going to be disappointed there. Asher Hong.
This was moments ago on parallel bars. Fight. It looks like the bars are so wide for him. You can see how his arms are a little bit wider than parallel, which to me would make it so much more difficult to swing. Obviously, he has no problem. Nice dismount, double front half, very low on the shoulders.
But caught the landing. He was so low and was quick twitched enough to adjust and get his chest up to make it to his feet. I'm always impressed by that.
All right, here we go with Michael Fletcher from Illinois, hanging on to a top 10 spot after 3. He's sitting in that 10th position. Came out of the gate quick. Top of the standings.
Top 3 start values on floor for World Championships is a 6.2. Brett McClure, the high performance director, said that is what he's looking for. So, of course, John and I are saying that is the gold standard. But, again, we are expecting greatness. The men's gymnastics team is looking to just improve internationally, and they're making it up in their start value right now. That's been a focus point for them.
They had 6 points of a deficit behind the medalists in the Tokyo Olympics. 6 points. So before they even started the competition, they were, the rest of the teams were at a 0. They were at a -6. And they whittled that down to about 3 points of separation at these last World Championships. And Brett said, look, we can go out and do safer routines and finish 4th or 5th, or we can swing for the fences and try to win a medal. And that is what they're going to do. It's medal or bust for Team USA. Triple twist here at the end for Fletcher. Holds on.
Yeah, it's interesting, the strategy shift, because what has been done in men's gymnastics has not been working in current times. So, like you said, they're taking chances. They want to be more aggressive so they can get a different result. They pointed out that Great Britain has been doing this for a while with Max Wittenberg, and it's really paid off for them. And it's a strategy they're looking to try and continue here this year.
Max Whitlock. Max Whitlock.
Am I adding syllables there?
He added a couple Wittenbergs to it, but it's fine. We know what you're talking about.
Mixing
hey,
names.
We're throwing all the rules of broadcasting out, and one of them is correcting ourselves. And
we can make up names.
Sam's already corrected me, but it was off air. Okay, here we go. Ian Gunther on parallel bars, and I just want everybody to just soak this in, because this is a moment for the big guy.
I took a deep breath.
Oh, what a fight, what a save. Holy cow. Asher Hong, by the way, a 14-7 for his effort on the parallel bars. Nice body lines. He's got a dismount that I just happen to know the name of. It's called the Roethlisberger. There it is!
Oh.
Oh, man, he overdid it.
Man, you gave him too much juice with that commentary.
Oh, I was just chomping at the bit.
Shoot.
The only gymnast that I know of, honestly, nationally or internationally, that actually does it, and he does it way better than I ever did it. I had a cowboy. I was around the outside. It was like sidewards and pretty hideous by today's standards, but that was actually really good. And he should pike it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I know you're giving him suggestions, but I was going to say, if you play your cards right, maybe he'll give you some tips on the Roethlisberger.
I'm beyond help. I mean, my Roethlisberger days are over.
Go, Chase. Let's go, Chase. Finish up. I love you, Anthony.
Our mics are hot. I've been told our mics are hot. I've been told that I asked for water, and I was not a diva by asking for water, is the verdict so far.
I can attest, you're not a diva.
Okay, thanks.
You're not a diva.
I try not to be.
But we also are thankful that we did get water.
We are.
So
I used the force, actually, to bring water.
yeah, Princess Leia here.
Let's go to floor exercise with Connor McCool. This is a great floor team right here. Floor vault specialist for the University of Illinois. We mentioned him on vault, did a great vault there, but this guy can fly on this one.
Wow.
Woo, that was a 2.5 twist if you're counting. 2.5 twisting double back to a stuck landing. done.
Most of these guys are part of NCAA teams. So even though it's the beginning of their elite season, they're in the middle, if not towards the end of their college season. And it's extremely difficult to, even though they have the exact same rules, to compete every single weekend. And not all the NCAA athletes are here. So it's actually adding a competition for these guys.
That guy can flip and he can twist. His last two passes, 3.5 twists coming at him, and a triple twist going away. Ridiculous as we see Cameron Bach moments ago on vault, 13.95 here. Makes that 2.5, squeaks that 2.5 around right here at the very end.
Talk about air awareness. He knew he needed just a little bit more to get it all the way around. Snapped it there at the very end. Like a veteran, Cameron Bach, he's been around, he's been on this elite scene for a while, and it's little adjustments like that that you can tell.
So that rounds out things on the vault for this rotation. We're going over to Drake Andrews on high bar. Big release right here. There's the Kovacs. Nice, gets the dowels around the bar. Next together, Tkachev. A little bit of form there. Let's see a little more air time on that. Let me see if I can put in a request line here to jump over to parallel bars when this high bar routine is done.
Finishing up clean dismount there at the end.
Well done. Stayed on the bar. Needs to get the release moves maybe a little more dynamic on those Tkachev, but you know what? He had a routine, went up and executed it pretty close to his potential. Like to see that. Now the all request line is to see Blake Soon on the parallel bars. We saw his teammate Curran Phillips go on parallel bars a little while ago in this rotation. Curran is currently in the top spot, met the difficulty requirements on parallel bars to get the automatic spot. Again, if you have one of the top 3 start values from the World Championships on an event, and you win that event, try to keep track of this one at home, write this down. Top 3 start values from the World Championships last fall, and you win the event, you get an automatic spot on the national team. And there are 15 spots they are going to fill from this competition. One of those spots is already filled by Brody Malone, who is going to petition. Actually, being a world champion automatically has that spot. So really,
easy. So it's really easy to follow. It's really easy to make the national team here.
I've got some more caveats to that, but let's watch Blake Soon's routine and see, can he knock Curran Phillips out of what right now is an automatic spot on the national team? Wow, that was tough. And that break, though, that pike up to a handstand, that's going to be a pretty significant deduction. A piece to one arm, one bar, right to a Healy twirl. Sick difficulty. Blake's dad, Eugene Soon, been involved in the junior program a long time. Great personality, always a great person to see.
What do you think?
I don't. He's not
going to do it.
He's
Did he do it?
No, absolutely not. Unfortunately for Blake. Fortunately for Curran. Curran's going to hold that top spot.
A 6'8" start value is incredible. In the second place spot right now is Asher Hong, and he only has, I say only, he only has a 6'0" start value there. So significant increase in the difficulty from Curran Phillips. Here's Riley Luce. Scored a 13.35 here with a 4.9 start value.
currently in 7th place after the last rotation. So top 5 all-arounders from today will be national team members for the next 6 months until the U.S. National Championship. So Riley Luce staking a claim. Ian Lasik-Ellis, the final gymnast to go here in this parallel bar rotation. And as I'm looking around the gym, currently high bar is done, floor is done, rings is done, vault's done. We have a pommel horseman, like Joshua Carnes, going to be going on pommel horse. Well, Ian Lasik-Ellis will be finishing up here on the parallel bars. Blake Soon, by the way, a 15.044. It's just a 6'4" start value, so it wasn't going to make that individual spot with that start value today.
You know, we talk about this meet being a stepping stone to the Olympics, and if you're watching, you're like, it's a pretty far ways away, but in reality, everything is taken into consideration, and the next important piece of that puzzle is making the World Championship team.
Oh, good fight.
Especially if there's athletes that don't have as much international experience. This meet is going to help them get to championships. That hopefully helps them to make World there, puts them in a great spot to be in consideration for the Olympic team.
Ian Lasik-Ellis in the 6th spot in the all-around coming into this rotation. That parallel bar routine was big for him. By the way, Josh Carnes, he was sitting in the 3rd spot. Unfortunately, had a great pommel horse routine going, and I was trying to keep an eye on it. He did fall, unfortunately for him, on an event that's also a low-scoring event. So some movement in the standings certainly here after the 4th rotation. It is going to be a close one. Top 5 from this day of competition will be national team members. It's going to be close.
Keep going. Keep working. Keep climbing. And always keep playing. With the exceptional orthopedic care at Baptist Health, with a skilled team of dedicated specialists, along with advanced services and procedures, it's no wonder most people choose us to help them keep moving and doing the things that move them. Find a Baptist Health provider today.
Come see the stars of USA Gymnastics at the 2023 U.S. Classic, August 4th and 5th at Now Arena in Hoffman Estates. Cheer on Olympic medalists and world champions as they compete for a trip to the USA Gymnastics National Championships. Watch the excitement when Team USA's future legends take the stage. Tickets on sale now. Visit usagymclassic.com for more information. Don't miss any of the gymnastics excitement at the 2023 U.S. Classic.
Welcome back to the 5th rotation here at Winter Cup. Senior men are in the competition. We have seen a lot of highlights today. 4 rotations down, 2 to go. Asher Hong is currently in that first place spot with a 56.095. In second place is Yul Moldauer, 55.971. And rounding out the top 3 is Ian Lasik Ellis from Stanford with a 55.55. Fourth and fifth are still close too. There can be some jump in the all-around. 2 more rotations to go. It really just depends here. John, what are you seeing?
Yeah, well, interesting stuff. You know, Asher Hong still stays near the top. He moves from 4th to 1st after that rotation. Josh Carnes, unfortunately, he does drop down to 9th after that pommel horse fall. Yul Moldauer keeps that 2nd spot. Fred Richard maintains it in the 4th position, actually moves up 1 spot to the 4th. Shane Wiskus, so big movers were Shane Wiskus, unfortunately, going from 1st to 5th. We see Riley Luce move up. We see Ian Lasik Ellis with a big move, moving up to that 3rd spot. So keep an eye on that 5th and 6th spot. Shane Wiskus currently in 5th. Riley Luce, Michael Fletcher in 6th and 7th, respectively. But your guy that is in 2nd right now is this man, Yul Moldauer.
Little shy on that landing. We talk about the good mistakes being over rotation. We saw him actually under rotate a bit of that vault. And of course, he's the one and only vault competitor for this rotation. But we're quickly going to high bar here with Asher Hong.
Asher trying to do some upgrades on this event. We talked to his coach, as you see Tom Galimi walk off right there. This is maybe the weakest event for Asher. Nice, Coleman. One of his upgrades was his Zoli Min, which is a full twisting 1 arm to a top. Did not see it there, but that also, the German Giants, if he does the full German Giant, gets additional difficulty, but a great routine. Starts from a 15, should start from a 15 plus. We'll see what the judges do. But event, again, we saw Yul Moldauer go up on the high bar in the first rotation on what we consider his weak event, put out a big one, and Asher Hong doing the same.
Let's take one more look at Yul Moldauer's vault here. Again, we talk about the under rotation slightly there at the end, but good body positions in the air. You also want to check out the form. Legs together, good block off the table in order to get the twist around, to get the rotation around. We've seen him do a bit better vault, but not bad at all. It's a good vault for you.
And the big thing for him there, though, is that he looked like both feet, to me, went over that white line, which would have been a 3/10 deduction, probably 3/10 on the hop as well. But just looking at his score, he got a 14.25. Judges only took 1 for going out of bounds. And they did not take the 3. So we didn't have the greatest angle. The judges probably had a better look at it. So that was a big 2/10 save. And again, trying to be the Winter Cup all-around champ. That matters. Saw the top 2 guys leading off this rotation, Asher Hong and Yul Moldauer. Now Michael Fletcher currently sitting in the 7th spot. Big moment for him. Horse has been tough for a lot of guys today.
Yeah, it has, but historically, pommel horse has been a weak event for USA men. But here in this competition, there's actually a ton of guys that have high start values that could contend on an international stage. Why?
Yeah, you got to grease the squeaky wheel, you know. You've got to start working on your weaknesses, and Team USA has really done that. We saw Netarasic make a team world championship as a specialist, which is unheard of for Team USA, and I think other guys have tried to start to smell the roses a little bit and go, you know what, maybe that could be me.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I thought was interesting too is they actually made a fundamental shift to the developmental program to remove the pommels at those levels in order for them to beat the fear factor and to not learn those bad habits.
Fred Richard now on parallel bar. Has been a good day for him. Currently sits in the 4th position in the all-around, trying to maintain a top 5 spot. Put himself on that senior national team. The one thing, if you want to be nitpicky, and I'm about to be, I guess, so here you go. The one thing I'd like to see Fred Richards do a little bit better is from his knees to the tips of his toes. I'd like to see that be a little tighter, a little bit sharper, maybe that toe point a little bit more precise. And again, here in the U.S., at the U.S. Championships, not going to make a difference, but when you go international, that is where that is a big difference maker. He's got the skills. Now just get that little bit of refinement, a little sharper toe point, a little tighter legs, and look out for Fred Richards.
But he's pumped for that. Look at that. He did the double fist pump.
Trouble in the last rotation for Shane Wiskus on horizontal bar, but this event is a strong event for him. He is in that go, no-go spot, as I like to call it, on the national team in 5th. If you drop one, you do not make it automatically as an all-arounder. Big event for Shane. Well done. He reminds me a little bit of Yule in his ability to stick landings.
He was the 2021 floor champion here at Winter Cup. Has built a bit of a resume, not just on this event, but on a couple events. Been productive for Team USA. What do you like about his floor?
His landings are fantastic, and I think that's the biggest thing. He does very difficult tumbling passes, and his presentation has always been one of his calling cards. When I say presentation, even he let it low there, but look at his hands and look at his precision in his body movements in between the tumbling passes. Makes a huge impression on the judging. Nice triple twist.
Also, I noticed his ability to adjust. I mean, he was so crooked on that combination pass and pulled it off like there was no problem.
Now Rithik Puri from Michigan on the parallel bar. Fred Richard a 14.45. So a good routine, just on a 50-6 start value. So that is a little over a point in deductions, which is pretty darn good. Judges hard pressed to find less than a point off on most of these events. Dump that double pike a little bit. I'd like to see that double pike pop a little bit more off the rails, but managed to find his feet. Anthony Copy on the pommel horse.
They're looking for 6'3" or above start value on this event. Brett McClure that said that there's only about 5 or 6 guys in this competition that can put up that start value, but guys like this, what is he looking to do? If he's coming in here without that start value, what's the point for him?
Well, he's competing in the all-around. He's trying to make a statement in the all-around and finish high. He's a young kid just making his way into the senior ranks, so he's got a lot of gymnastics ahead of him. Unfortunately, this is not going to be a moment for him that he's going to want to remember from this Winter Cup. But you mentioned the start values here on this event. 3 gymnasts so far have gotten that 6'3" or higher for a start value on pommel horse. Patrick Hoops from Air Force actually is the top scorer. We saw Ignacio Yakers from Oklahoma do a big routine, but he moved ahead of him just so slightly by half a tenth into the top spot. Brandon Dang from West Coast is the other gymnast to put up a 6'3". He is about 5/10 behind the leaders on this event. But Steven Netarasic still yet to come on the pommel horse, as well as Ian Skirky, 2 of the best in the country. Riley Luce on high bar. Asher Hong, a 13.65 for his routine that we saw a little bit ago. Asher Hong actually leading high bar
Yeah, 13.65, and in the second place spot, Ian Gunther with the 13.6, and in the third place spot is Yul Moldauer, 13.5.
Yul and Asher are going to want to take a picture of those standings. Not their best events, but they are at the top right now. Riley Luce, nice job. Riley in 6th position. So we saw Shane on floor exercise do a great floor routine. He's in 5th. Riley Luce in 6th. Trying to fight for that top 5 position in the all-around. Shane will go to pommel horse in the next rotation. That is a weaker event for him. While Riley Luce goes to the floor exercise, I give a slight advantage to Riley in that final rotation. We are midway through the 5th rotation here. We're going to do a little one-touch. Sam and I are going to do some jumping jacks and some toe touches, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, Sam Peshek, and I'm Leah Skywalker. Sorry, I mispronounced my first name.
Who are you, John?
We are here in Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky. We're partway through the 5th rotation of this incredible Winter Cup. It's been an awesome competition, would you say, so far?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying watching these athletes add the difficulty, and you can see it's still a work in progress for some of these routines. You can see it in their facial expressions that they want to get back to the gym, tighten some things up, help increase the execution, but overall, I'm pretty impressed.
Cameron Bach chalking up the parallel bars. This is a great event for Cameron. Currently sitting outside of the top 10 in the standing. Gonna have to make a big move here on parallel bars and high bar. 2 good events for him, especially parallel bars.
Is he an athlete that can contend for the first place spot with Corinne Phillips?
I don't think so. Not with that start value that Curran did, but he is good nonetheless. Certainly a top 5 type of athlete on this event.
Looking good, Garrett. Keep it up.
You got it, Garrett. What are the key things the judges look for?
Precision, really precision. You want to hit your handstand positions. You don't want to wobble. You don't want to step in the handstands. Form breaks are obvious. That's every event, but that was clean. You don't want your body, anything other than your hands, to touch the rail. You want the legs to scrape on the bar. So far, this is very clean.
Oh,
and that is devastating for Cameron Bach.
man. And this is the second time, I hate to point this out for you, John, that you have now jinxed somebody.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the guys would appreciate if you waited till the end of their routine to compliment them, because what an incredible routine that was.
I'm going to try not to jinx Ian Skirky, one of the best in the country on the pommel horse. We actually ran into his dad at Starbucks a couple hours ago, and he was very excited to watch this routine. He is battling again some of the best pommel horsemen for that individual spot on this event. Right now, Patrick Hoops in the top position with a 14.992. Here's Skirky.
But Steven Nedorosik has not gone yet.
Very true.
And that's someone all these guys are looking at.
Oh, and he saves it. But he does have a break. Got his swing back. Nice dismount. The Russian, the triple Russian into the loop off. He gives a deep breath knowing that he almost lost it there, but then also a little bit of a smile because that was not bad. Do I think it's going to be a 14.992? I don't think so. But it's going to keep him in contention. They have to win the event both days. So it's both days combined to win the event as well as the start value. So even if you're on the top today, does not mean you get that automatic spot. You got to do it again Sunday. You see Curran Phillips. We saw him on parallel bars. He's leading that event. Here he is on the horizontal bar. Had to adjust this routine a little bit because of that back injury that we mentioned earlier in the competition. But he's got some big releases. Like that one. That's a Casina. Full twisting, laid out double back over the bar. There's the Coleman. Ridiculous.
What are the judges looking for here?
Grab the bar, stay on.
All you have to do is stay on, then you get a perfect score.
Stay on the bar, big release moves, and hitting handstands. So anytime you do the Sculptor and the Flying Giant, we talked about the Flying Giant.
I wanted to see it. I'm glad I got the opportunity.
That was outstanding. I'll tell you what, his teammate Brody Malone is the world champ on the high bar. They train every day together in practice, and I'd like to see those two trying to one-up each other every day, right?
Yeah, that's some iron sharpens iron mentality right there.
Caleb Christopoulos now on pommel horse. You saw that low score for him on the horizontal bar. That's too bad. That's a good event for him. We saw him training yesterday, and he just looked sharp. Big release moves. Unfortunately, did not have a perfect day on that event, so trying to hit a big one here on pommel horse.
Yeah, he told me that, and in his words, I got a little nervy at championships last year on the first day. So I was laughing at his lingo, and I told him I'd give him a shout out for using the word nervy. But he said he's feeling a little bit better. He's feeling more prepared after championships. And you're seeing a good result from him.
Nice done. Nice job there from Christopoulos. So this was while we were watching another routine, I believe a high bar routine, and Cameron was on floor exercise. Did a triple back. For those of you who know Cameron Nelson, opened his tumbling with a triple back mount, nailed it. Combination pass there. Comes from Ohio State. Rustam Sharipov, the head coach there, Olympic gold medalist on the parallel bars in 1996. Beating my teammate, Jair Lynch. There's the finish. See one of his coaches, Casimiro Suarez, there pounding the podium, pumping his fists in the background. 14.144 for his score on the floor exercise. That puts Cameron Nelson in third place on that event behind Richard and Moldauer.
That's the best feeling when you hit your routine and you look over and you see your coach, and it's that moment of, you have been on this journey with me, we've worked hard in the gym together, and it's like, yeah, pumped up. I love seeing that.
Yeah, my dad never really did that.
He didn't?
He was just like, great routine. He'd be like, okay.
Different styles.
Yeah,
different styles.
Very different. Not the most excitable. Josh Carnes now on the still rings. We see that trouble he had on pommel horse, just 11.3. He was in third place up until that pommel horse routine. That fall dropped him down to 9th. He finishes on vault, though. Keep that in mind. Vault is a high-scoring event for the men. If he can do a clean routine here, put himself in striking distance, 5th place is not out of the question. And again, 5th place, top 5 all-arounders from today. Automatic berths onto the U.S. national team. I like to see his handstand. Elbows are slightly bent, arms touching those straps a little bit. A decent routine. He's not the Alex Diab of the competition where he goes and does all the strength moves, but hit his routine about as good as he can do. Not sure if that score is going to be enough to keep him close, even with the higher scoring vault yet to come.
But he's one of the younger ones in the competition, doesn't have as much experience. So I think gaining that confidence, even though the start value isn't as high, is still very much important. He really wants to represent the U.S. in the Olympics. And so we talk about the stepping stools in order to do that, and making the national team is step one.
Absolutely. This is a big day for him nonetheless. Ian Skirky is sitting in the 2nd spot right now on pommel horse, a 14.97 to 0.02 behind the leader, Patrick Hoops. He did have a 16.5 start value. And right there, that break, that is the difference, more than the difference between the top 2 athletes on this event so far.
But you know what's impressive to me is that he had a break and he did a mental shift so fast that there were no other major breaks in this routine. And I think that that's extremely impressive, especially on an event like this.
Yeah, you got to kind of get your poise, establish that nice level circle after you have a break, and then continue your routine. That's not easy to do. It's like beam. You have a big wobble on beam. You try to calm your nerves for that next pass, and it's not always that easy.
You know, I actually think it's more like bars now we're thinking about it. Beam, you can do a pose and take a break, center yourself. You can't stop on a pommel horse routine. Similar to bars, you have to regain that rhythm, that momentum during your routine.
This is Matt Cormier from Penn State on the still rings. You see that score, that very unfortunate score that he had on pommel horse. Press the handstand.
Let's go, man!
Struggling a little bit on that hiked double front called a Janssen. His teammate Joshua Carnes at 13.1. Decent score for that routine, actually. Step forward on that dismount. Not a great routine for Cormier. I think he knows he gave away a bit on those swinging elements. But one event to go. That's going to wrap up rotation 5. Sam, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
A lot of men's gymnastics for you.
A lot of men's gymnastics for me, and I got to be honest, I'm learning a lot. I appreciate your analysis of these routines and what it all means, and I think that the future for men's gymnastics is bright here in the United States, and that is really encouraging to me.
One event to go here in Louisville at this Winter Cup. We're trying to determine who's going to be the all-around champ and who are going to be the 5 athletes who make the national team today.
Come see the stars of USA Gymnastics at the 2023 U.S. Classic, August 4th and 5th at Now Arena in Hoffman Estates. Cheer on Olympic medalists and world champions as they compete for a trip to the USA Gymnastics National Championships. Watch the excitement when Team USA's future legends take the stage. Tickets on sale now. Visit usagymclassic.com for more information. Don't miss any of the gymnastics excitement at the 2023 U.S. Classic.
keep going. Keep working. Keep climbing. And always keep playing. With the exceptional orthopedic care at Baptist Health, with a skilled team of dedicated specialists, along with advanced services and procedures, it's no wonder most people choose us to help them keep moving and doing the things that move them. Find a Baptist Health provider today.
Welcome back to the 6th and final rotation here in Freedom Hall. We're in Louisville, Kentucky, and we're having a great time. There's going to be a lot of gymnastics this weekend, but we're focused on the senior men's competition right now. Yul Moldauer is currently in the #1 spot, headed into this last rotation. He has a 70.221. In the second spot is Asher Hong from Stanford with a 69.745. And in the third place spot, Fred Richard. He has increased his place here in the all-around from the University of Michigan, but it's expected when you talk to these head coaches for him to do this well. I'm not surprised, and this is my first time watching him in competition, scoring a 69.64. So it's a tight one here. John, what are you seeing heading into this third rotation? Can any of these people jump up in the standings? What do you think?
Sam, here's what I'm seeing. It's a circus, and it's intense. I'll let you just marinate on that for a second.
I'm thinking.
It's like a circus.
Yep.
It's intense.
Okay.
You know, and here's where the intensity is going to be. Shane Wiskus is in 5th place. All right, we talked about the top 5 making the national team automatically in the all-around. Riley Luce is in 6th place. This is where the drama is going to take place, to me, between 5th and 6th in this rotation. Shane Wiskus has about 0.65 difference between him and Riley Luce. So less than a point. The 0.65 might sound like a lot, but Shane is going to pommel horse. Riley Luce is going to floor. 0.65 is not a lot to make up if you're on floor and the guy you're chasing down is on pommel horse. Shane Wiskus, I believe, is going to start this rotation. So Riley Luce will know exactly what he needs to do. Now, there's some athletes behind him, Ian Gunther, but they're further back in the standings. Ian Gunther's in 7th, Cameron Nelson in 8th, Josh Carnes in 9th, Michael Fletcher. But then you're talking about almost 2 points behind the top 5. I think the top 6 athletes, 5 of the top 6 athletes are going to be your 5 all-around qualifiers for the national team. That's what I think, Sam.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I also think even though Shane is finishing on pommel horse, it's a guy that's an Olympian. He's an NCAA champion. He's done a lot of high-pressure competitions. So if there's anyone that has experience being in this role to jump up the spaces, my money is on Shane. He's one of the athletes that's done the most in this competition, really. So if I was everybody else, I'd be a little nervous because they're trying to catch up to his resume here.
The other guy to keep an eye on, too, is Ian Lasik-Ellis. He's also on floor exercise. He's very close with Shane and Riley as well as far as point totals are concerned. So I believe we're going to have Fred Richard to start. Shane Wiskus is over on pommel horse. We'll try to keep you updated on that. Maybe we'll roll that one in later on tape. Can't get both at the same time. This is a big high bar routine as well.
Yeah, coaches say that a healthy Fred is a dangerous guy because he has that 1% gene. He doesn't mind competing. He thrives on it, actually. But he also is a hard worker, too. And you could see that with just how successful he's been in today's competition.
And he's just under 6/10 behind the leader, Yul Moldauer. The question is, can he make that up? Yule will be on parallel bars. I give the advantage to Yule, but this high bar routine, big time. An event for Team USA, by the way, that they are not exceptionally strong on. Yes, they have the world champion Brody Malone, but there's a drop-off after that. Fred Richard can show he can go big on this event. Like a Shane Wiskus, he's going to put himself in a great spot for the world team.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
A job well done across the board for Fred Richard. He is vocal about making the next Olympic team. Step one is the national team, and then, of course, World Championships. Done a phenomenal job here today.
Here we go with Shane Wiskus trying to hold on to a top 5 spot. This happened moments ago. And I mentioned not a strong event for Shane, but he has good swing. Little form breaks there. Oh, good save. Hit his leg on the end, it looked like. I tell you what, a hit routine, but gave away a lot of 1 3/10 deductions throughout that routine. Almost looked like he was a little nervous, maybe.
Yep.
Just kind of shaky, letting those legs come apart a little easy. I know on horse, if you feel like you're going to be off a little, you start to break open your legs. It's like a little bit of a parachute to try to help you hold your balance. It looked like maybe he was testing that a little bit.
Yeah, gymnastics is a physical sport, obviously, but that mental talk that you're talking about, when you do make a mistake, how can I forget about that, stay in the moment, think about my upcoming skill, because in reality, you can only think of one thing at once. So you're thinking about, oh, I messed that up. You really are not putting yourself in a good spot to keep the routine going. And wow, a routine that I've been looking forward to all day. Steven Netarosik, and he's been looking forward to this routine. We had to wait to the last and final rotation here. This is going to be a big one.
Yeah, this is huge. World champion on this event. And that is so difficult. There's the sewn. That is a 360 Stockley there. A different hand position, but he does that still, that 360 on one hand. He is supposed to have a 6'6" start value. We saw him walk by earlier. I said, Steven, what's the start value going to be? And he said 6'6". Does have a few form breaks. A little slow getting to that handstand and that pirouette. I'll tell you what, if he doesn't get the top spot, it's A, going to be because he doesn't have his signature goggles on, and B, the dismount is going to be the difference. I don't think it's going to be enough, Sam, but it's going to be close.
I mean, a 6'6" start value is 2/10 higher as start value than Patrick Hoops here, and 3/10 higher than Ian Skirky. So we'll see what the judges do with that execution score, John.
Here we go with Yule Moldauer. Fred Richard currently in the top spot after that high bar routine. Yule needs better than a 14.381 to take away the lead from Fred. Certainly capable of doing that. This is one of Yule's better events. Oh, a tough sequence there. Giant to a Makuts is what that's called. That skill, he goes to one bar and then Heelys down. Ridiculously hard. He's got some clear airs in this routine. Hit the bar a couple times with his legs. Couple balance checks, foot break there, but tons of difficulty. So he's going to have the start value. Got to hit a clean landing here. Oh!
He heard you loud and clear.
Yule Moldauer is going to be one of your top 3 gymnasts at this competition, and I'll tell you what, he came out, he looked mad. He looked like he competed angry.
Yep, but those are the best competitions, John. You and I both know that. You come in, you're a little mad, you're a little angry. It gives you that extra adrenaline, the oomph you need to stick that landing when maybe you might be a little off.
Fred Richard, by the way, a 14.962, the highest score on high bar by over a point. He is in the top spot on that event as Cameron Bach takes his turn on the high bar.
and we knew that was a good one when we saw it. Maybe High Bar just needed to heat up a little bit.
We've seen some great high bar teams. Really, the one that jumps out that could have been up near the top of Shane Wiskus. He came off, but Yule having career high bar day. Asher Hong doing a great job there, and obviously Fred in the #1 spot on that event, setting the standard. Yeah,
and you talk about it being a weaker event for USA right now, and these guys are smart. They're strategic, so if they want to make these teams, they want to be an asset on the weaker events. High bar, putting that extra emphasis on right here.
Good finish to the day for Cameron Bach. Steven Netarosik, for those of you waiting at home, you're wondering, what is the score? I said it was going to be close. It is a 15.092, 1/10 ahead of Patrick Hoop. So the top 4 athletes on pommel horse. We told you it was going to be close. 4th place is a 14.942. 1st place is a 15.092. And then Brandon Dang in the 5th spot just jumps down a little bit with a 14.466.
And Steven told us walking by in today's competition he's doing a 6.6, but the difficulty shows 6.4 here. So I'm not sure if he was planning on adding something and decided last minute, or if he just didn't get the credit for something. But just to recap, 6.4 start value, the exact same as Patrick Hoops.
Wow. Pommel horse competition. Finally, we didn't lie. We told them.
Did not lie.
Everybody was
it
going to be
is
good.
The story of the night.
Yule Moldauer, by the way, a 15.121 on parallel bars. Blew away the needs to score to get back that top spot as David Shama swings pommel horse.
Good finish to his competition here. And heading to high bar, Landon Blix from University of Michigan. Hoping to have the same success as his teammate, Fred Richard.
Beautiful. Wow. Go Gadget arms. He barely got that dowel over the bar. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, it came in a little closer there on that second release. He didn't want to cut it close again.
Well done. Some unique release moves, and man, you want to be arm's length away from the bar, Sam, but he pushed arm's length and some. Good thing he didn't clip his fingernails.
Yeah.
We see some of the vault judges walking by now. They did a poor job.
They're giving us some fist pumps. Love the community support in here today, you know, John?
Absolutely.
A lot of gymnastics people in the house, and everyone's just cheering each other on.
So Yule Moldauer in the top spot currently in the all-around. Fred Richard right behind him. What a finish for those two athletes. Shane Wiskus currently sitting in the 3rd spot. Josh Carnes in the 4th position from Penn State. Ian Gunther in the 5th spot. We told you Josh Carnes finishing on vault. That's a good place to finish. And he will make a big jump in the standings. But the guy who was in 2nd place coming into this rotation, Asher Hong, yet to go. He needs better than a 15.597. And here's Riley Luce. We talked about the important routines in this rotation, and this is one of them. Sitting in 6th place, coming in, just hangs on there.
Yeah, the top spot on floor is still Fred Richard with a 14.483, 6.1 start value.
Riley Luce, you saw the flag go up. That means he did go out of bounds. I believe probably 1/10 for that out of bounds. Watch this though, incredibly strong gymnast. Again, an all-around spot on the line to make an automatic qualification onto the national team. Beautiful pass right there. He was behind Shane Wiskus by 0.65 approximately going into this rotation. We saw Shane on horse lead off with a 13.25. So Riley Luce, if he can get a high 13, certainly if he gets the 14, he is going to move ahead of Shane into the top 5. We'll have to wait and see.
Ian Lasik-Ellis here.
Okay, so this just in. Ian Lasik-Ellis, the gymnast after Riley Luce. Riley Luce only a 12.9 from that floor effort. Did go out of bounds, a low execution score of a 7.3. And that is unfortunate. Riley Luce still in the top 4 currently. Obviously, we know Asher Hong is still yet to go. Ian Lasik-Ellis was also ahead of Riley Luce. He's the next gymnast to go on 4. So Riley Luce precariously holding on to the top 5 spot. Josh Carnes even more precarious. He's in the 5th spot currently.
You think they can hang on to that?
I don't like Josh Carnes' chances. We still got Ian Lasik-Ellis to go here on this event. He certainly could jump up there. And then Asher Hong, who's going to finish this rotation on the floor exercise, I certainly expect him to bump him up there. So Josh Carnes, I think, is going to move out. Really, it's going to come down to this 14, in my opinion, on whether it's going to be Ian Lasik-Ellis or his teammate, Riley Luce, to get an automatic spot onto the national team. Man,
they're really icing him out here.
They are.
Taking some time. He's chalking up. I saw him close his eyes, most likely do some visualizing. What was your pre-routine ritual?
And I'm not sure why they're making him wait. His teammate's score's been up for a while. My pre-routine ritual is to go up to the podium, bounce on the floor a few times, visualize my passes, take a deep breath, and hopefully the judge is ready to go at that point. But if you have to do twice as long, you just kind of keep repeating that, I guess. Here we go. Beautiful sequence right there, so tough. Ian Lasik-Ellis had less than a point lead over his teammate Riley Luce, and that's kind of the position we're keeping an eye on right now, that 4th spot.
Nice combination work there. All of his tumbling passes are so clean in the air. So much twisting. His legs are still glued together, which I know he makes it look easy, but it's absolutely not.
Gonna land one more. I believe this should be it. Triple twist. I believe you're looking at a national team member out of this Winter Cup. And keep in mind, it's not the only way to make the national team here at this Winter Cup. So Riley Luce certainly will have plenty of opportunities still to get in there. We'll talk more about that when we come back, Sam. Hey, we're back, and we got the high performance director, Brett McClure, right in front of us. And Brett, they can't hear you, but I can hear you. What do you think so far? I mean, we've seen some great gymnastics, and it's Winter Cup. Winter Cup's not pretty usually. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we're begging him. Join, grab a headset, come speak to us.
We're going to try to do our high-tech ad here. As
Asher Hong is on floor. I'll walk you through this. John's doing IT support over here. We're working on bringing you lots of good information. Chest down on that landing, though.
Brett, can you hear us in your headset?
Yes, I can.
Oh,
Can you guys hear me?
Hear you.
The man, Brett McClure. Oh,
Asher Hong put his hands down on a floor routine. Brett, when is the last time you saw him have a mistake on floor? He's had an incredible 2022.
Never. I've never seen a mistake on floor. He at least was going very aggressive right there, but yeah, he's had a solid 2022.
He's trying to chase down Yule, who, by the way, I mean, what do you think of Yule today? He seems like he's got a little chip on his shoulder after being the alternate at World.
He came out swinging. You knew he set the tone with one of his weaker events starting on high bar. Nailed it. And just let it ride the rest of the meet. It was really fun to watch.
Yeah, we said the same thing about his high bar. Weak event, man, he came out strong, hit the Coleman.
Brett, you told us that you were expecting to see a lot more difficulty in this competition with the push to increase the start values. What do you think about the difficulty that was thrown? Are you happy with it? Does it need more work? Do you want to nix it? In terms of the balance between start value and execution here.
Yeah, it's. I'm going to have to take a deeper dive into the numbers. It's hard to follow everything all at once, but on the surface, I'm definitely seeing a lot more difficulty. Guys are not holding back. For example, Yule could have easily pulled a couple elements on parallel bars and probably still came out one or two, but he kept, the risky routine in place and went for it, and that's what it's going to take for us, Team USA, to get back on the podium. So I'm really happy with the amount of difficulty they're pushing.
What do you think that does to their confidence level this early in the elite season?
It's a balance, right? It could shake you up a little bit. It could, make you worried about, is this too much? Should I play it safe? But those 14.0s aren't going to get you back on the podium, right? And so just sending the message, we're here to support you guys through the difficult times, increasing that difficulty. It's going to pay off in the end. It's hard to have the patience, but we have to remind them again, it's Winter Cup, it's February, we're expecting mistakes, even World Championships, right? Like, we were expecting mistakes at World Championships this year because they were pushing it, and it's okay. We're on the right path. Let's continue moving forward. Ultimate goal, get Team USA back on the podium.
So, Fred, I say the name, you tell me what you think. Fred Richard.
Man. He is doing an incredible job. I'm really happy to see him continuing to push the difficulty of his gymnastics. It was the first time I've ever seen him do that dismount on pommel horse, though. I'm not sure where that came from. My guess, I haven't had the conversation with him, is that endurance is still coming around.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, that's a monster routine. It's a marathon, and I can understand just kind of wanting to get off the horse, but I think maybe he could have taken 30 seconds, and done a really clean, excellent dismount, and probably scored about the same because he probably lost over a point just on doing the triple rush and off to the side like that, being so low. So We'll see. I know he's still getting experience, and a lot of these guys are still getting experience pushing this higher level gymnastics. So yeah, it's exciting. It looks like the future is bright, and can't wait to get out on the international scene in the coming weeks.
Fred Richard is obviously a newcomer that's impressive here in this competition, but who else is new on this scene and it's been impressive to you here in this competition?
Well, we had a world championship caliber pommel horse rotation,
we talked about
right?
That too.
Yeah. Ignacio, I mean, he's been Gymnast of the Week in the MPSF, NCAA, and so it's been really fun to see some of the new guys come on the scene right now and play a part.
Do you think that these pommel horse specialists see Steven Netarasic go to World Championships, win pommel horse, go to another World Championships as part of a team and go, wait a minute, if he can do it, maybe there's a chance for me to be on a world team or an Olympic team. Do you think there's a little trickle-down effect going on pommel horse in this country?
Yeah, absolutely. Just watching pommel horse in training is so much fun. I probably camped out there for 45 minutes the other day during podium training just to watch these pommel horse specialists work. You know, he created a following, starting with Alec Yoder at the Olympic Games, right? Who knew Team USA could be so strong on the event? And it's fun to watch.
What about rings right here? We're on rings. Where's USA in comparison to the rest of the world on this event, and where are you hoping to see them this year?
Our world team was a little bit behind, but we've got guys like Alex Diab that really swing the pendulum the other way. They're super, super strong. You know, we just have to pick the events as a team, what's going to work, put together that puzzle piece, what's going to work, you know, stack in pommel horse. Is it going to be stacking rings with an extra guy over there? Is it 3 6.0 vaults? You know, that would be the highest difficulty in the world on that event, hands down. You know, we have more tools now, which is incredibly cool to watch. So I don't know. I don't know what the team's going to look like in Paris. I don't know what the team's going to look like after Sunday, you know, but I do know that we've got a lot of good gymnastics happening on every single event. You know, it's not just one guy on a couple events now. We're getting deeper, so it's fun.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and for now, the message to the team is to continue to add that difficulty. And we're seeing in the scores in the all-around competition, it's paying off for them. Yul Moldauer, like you mentioned, could play it safe. He's still in that top spot. He could have taken some elements out. He didn't. He's gaining that competition experience. Red Richard is right behind him. And, of course, Asher Hong is rounding out the top 3 after today's competition. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah. It's an incredible group of guys. You know, you follow up with 4th place. Ian Lasik-Ellis is such a workhorse. You know, he's been kind of inching his way along for a long time. Shane Wiskus, veteran. You know, he's, like you said, John, got a little chip on his shoulder. He's ready to come out swinging this year. Even Riley, Josh Carnes is on our senior development team. You know, he's knocking on the door on the senior team, you know, which is exactly what we want from those development guys. It's a new aspect of the national program. You know, 5 guys with the 18 to 20-year-old age range are on team for a full year, so we can continue to nurture their development and allow them to go through Winter Cup without worrying about losing their spot. And they were up there making mistakes, and that's okay because, you know, the difficulty's still there, and we're hoping they mature into the role where they can handle it and be competitive and consistent at that world stage. So, you know, I'm really happy.
You know, I look at those standings, too, and Yul had a great meet. You see Fred and Asher in 2nd and 3rd, 2 young guys bursting onto the senior team who can make an immediate impact internationally. And then you trickle in these veterans like Shane and Yul obviously at the top. And then I'd be remiss not to mention the 3 world team members who aren't here. Donnell Wittenberg, Brody Malone, who's a game changer all in his own right, and Colt Walker. And I don't know about you, you know, I don't have your job. I'm not leading the charge here, but I'm a big fan, lifelong fan of men's gymnastics in the country. And it gets me pretty kind of giddy. You know, I'm bouncing in my chair a little bit going, this team could do something, it feels like.
It is. It's extremely exciting to see how far they've come in such a short amount of time, because you know how much work they do day in, day out with their coaches, working just as hard, you know, to try to be competitive again. And it's so difficult. This sport is so difficult, you know. It's crazy how,
it's inhuman in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, so it's hard to put in perspective how much they've done in such a short period of time. And the other side of that, the flip side to the coin, what's so incredibly awful, is that there are going to be guys that aren't going to make the team that are
really
phenomenal.
Good. Really good guys.
That could probably step into some other federations and be an immediate player doing the all-around, just like, you know, what you see in the NCAA world.
Well, Brett, I mean, judging by today, it looks like you can keep your job for a little while longer. Is that, you know, I mean, things are, you like this job? You're in charge, man. A lot of pressure, but, you know, a lot of reward, too. What do you think?
It is. It's a ton of work trying to get these guys in a position to be able to accomplish things that we were able to accomplish, you know, as athletes. And that's really the ultimate goal.
You were able to accomplish, Brett. It's fine.
Yeah, we just want to, you know, make the path as easy as possible, successful, and let them go out there and take, you know, what's theirs.
Yeah.
That's really what continues to push me in this position.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Impromptu.
Yeah.
Walking by. And if you look at your screen really close, we're over there on the left side. Right there.
You can't, you can't see
my
us.
hands waving?
Yeah, we're giving
Yeah,
a
that's
little
us.
wave.
That's us. Oh, we'll say hi real quick. Say hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
Hi, it's very cold in here, obviously.
She's got her shirt on. We're good. Thank you, everybody,
Thank you for
watching us. Yeah, we had a good time. Thanks, Brett.
Thank you.
You got the standings there on the right side of your screen. Yul Moldauer is your all-around Winter Cup champ. He is going to be on the national team along with Fred Richard, Asher Hong, Ian Lasik-Ellis, and Shane Wiskus. They round out your top 5 automatic qualifiers for the U.S. national team, but we are not done. Sunday evening, we're going to come back here for the finals, the event finals. We'll pick some more individual spots based on points, based on individual event champions. It's going to be like a circus. It's going to be intense. And stay tuned for the award ceremony. Don't go away. You can watch all these guys get those medals wrapped around their neck. Sam?
Yeah, don't go away. We have more men's gymnastics, but tonight we actually have the Nastia Lukin Cup. That's going to be right here on YouTube. I will be covering that. You guys are going to get to hang out with me. We're going to do a lot of fun Twitter stuff. So if you're around, if you're interested, there's going to be a lot of good gymnastics later on today, of course tomorrow, and then again on Sunday. So we hope you join us for a long weekend of gymnastics. This is high-level stuff. We love it.
So long for now from Louisville, Kentucky. I am not Leah Skywalker. I am John Roethlisberger for Sam Pescic. We'll see you guys for more men on Sunday. Stick around for the Nastia Cup tonight.
Keep going. Keep working. Keep climbing. And always keep playing. With the exceptional orthopedic care at Baptist Health, with a skilled team of dedicated specialists, along with advanced services and procedures, it's no wonder most people choose us to help them keep moving and doing the things that move them. Find a Baptist Health provider today.
Come see the stars of USA Gymnastics at the 2023 U.S. Classic, August 4th and 5th at Now Arena in Hoffman Estates. Cheer on Olympic medalists and world champions as they compete for a trip to the USA Gymnastics National Championships. Watch the excitement when Team USA's future legends take the stage. Tickets on sale now. Visit usagymclassic.com for more information. Don't miss any of the gymnastics excitement at the 2023 U.S. Classic.
know, but you had a good first. I know it's late. I don't know who we're signing.
No, I think we're good to hang out with you guys. Yeah, talk about stuff.
Okay,
What is like, are you guys going?
that makes sense. Where are y'all staying?
It's like
Far away.
It's like by the Ohio, but I just seen it in restaurant.
You have training. You're like working out.
Hey, I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, here's parents were sitting in front of me. I didn't know that. So I went down and talked to them. They didn't know who I was. Where to go with that? I don't know. Call about that. Clearly they won't answer, but.
So I get Colorado Springs. We're on campus.
So it's in the cadet. The cadet building. It's like the cadet building. You'll see their I get there like an hour. Yeah.
Is it just individual apparatuses?
No, it's all around.
It's all around.
In second place, winning the silver medal from University of Michigan with a score of 84.602, Fred Richard. In first place, the 2023 Winter Cup Senior Men's All-Around Champion, winning the gold medal with a top score of 85.342 from 5280 Gymnastics, Yul Moldauer. Here they are, your all-around medalists of the 2023 Winter Cup Senior Men's Competition. Gymnasts, stay right where you are, because right now we welcome the 2028 Men's Senior National Team. These 5 athletes are the first to be named as national team members and will join 2022 World Championships gold medalist Brody Malone in representing Team USA this year in both national and international competition. Your 2023 Senior National Team members: Jane Wiskin, Ian Lasik-Ellis, Asher Hahn, Fred Richard, and Yul Moldauer. Let's hear it one more time for your 2023 Senior Men's Team USA. Gymnastics fans, we want to thank you for bringing the noise to the Freedom Hall for the 2023 Winter Cup. Competition continues tonight with the Nastia Lukin Cup. Then join us again tomorrow for the Senior Women's Competition at noon. And then again at 5:30 tomorrow, the Men's Elite Team Cup takes center stage. The final day of Winter Cup is Sunday with the Junior Women's Competition at noon and the Junior and Senior Men's Finals at 5:30. Thank you for your support of USA Gymnastics, and please have a safe trip.